Tonight, we examine Trump's controversial plan for Gaza and Australia's response. In our top story, a senior Australian minister suggests parts of Trump's Gaza plan could violate international law. Let's dive into the details. Former US President Donald Trump has proposed taking ownership of Gaza, aiming to transform it into the Riviera of the Middle East. This plan involves resettling 2.1 million Palestinians, sparking global backlash and uncertainty among US allies. Australian Labor frontbencher Katy Gallagher has expressed concerns, stating that Australia would not support the forced displacement of Palestinians in Gaza. She emphasized that such actions could violate international law. The Albanese government maintains its support for a two-state solution, advocating for the peaceful coexistence of Palestine and Israel. Senator Gallagher stressed the importance of resolving the conflict in accordance with international law. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton has praised Trump as a big thinker and deal-maker, while reaffirming his commitment to a two-state solution. The specifics of Trump's plan remain unclear, with questions surrounding troop deployment and funding sources. Initially, Trump didn't rule out U.S. troop involvement, but later backtracked. His press secretary also stated that U.S. taxpayer dollars wouldn't fund Gaza's reconstruction. This developing story raises significant questions about the future of Gaza and international relations in the Middle East.
Bringing you the latest on the controversial electoral reforms causing a stir in Australian politics. Tonight, we'll delve into accusations of a dirty deal between major parties, explore the proposed changes to campaign spending and donation limits, and hear from critics who claim these reforms will stifle electoral competition. The Greens and Independents are up in arms over proposed electoral reforms, accusing major parties of a backroom deal. These changes would significantly impact donation thresholds and campaign spending limits. Under the new laws, electoral spending would be capped at $800,000 per electorate, with a total limit of $90 million for registered political parties. Individual donations to branches and candidates would be restricted to $20,000 annually, starting July 1, 2026. While the bill includes some widely supported transparency measures, such as real-time disclosure of donations during campaigns, critics argue it primarily benefits major parties at the expense of independents and minor parties. Greens Democracy spokeswoman Larissa Waters accused the major parties of locking out the crossbench from negotiations, stating, "Now the two big parties are quite happy to scratch their own backs in this arrangement." Independent senators are fighting back, with David Pocock expecting a major party stitch-up and planning to propose amendments to split the bill. Some senators have even suggested renaming it to highlight their disapproval, with suggestions like the Shame Democracy Bill and Snouts in the Trough Bill. As negotiations continue between Labor and the coalition, Special Minister of State Don Farrell hinted at an imminent vote, while opposition leader Peter Dutton confirmed ongoing, good faith negotiations. This contentious issue raises important questions about the future of Australian democracy and the balance of power between major parties and independents. We bring you the latest on Australia's offer to assist in the investigation of two teenagers' deaths in Laos. In our top story, Laos has yet to accept Australia's proposal to help investigate the tragic deaths of Holly Bowles and Bianca Jones. Let's delve into the details. Two Australian teens, both 19, lost their lives in a mass methanol poisoning incident while on holiday in Laos last November. 4 other foreign nationals also died in the same incident. The Australian government has offered to send a team of Australian federal police officers to assist local authorities, but Laos has not yet accepted this offer. Education Minister Jason Clare expressed disappointment over Laos's hesitancy, emphasising the need for answers and justice. He stated, "2 young Australian women died here. We need to know how this happened. Their mums and dads deserve to know how they died." The minister stressed the importance of bringing those responsible to justice and preventing similar tragedies in the future. He highlighted the expertise of AFP officers, noting their ability to track down the criminals and work out what happened. This situation echoes previous instances where AFP officers have been deployed internationally to assist in investigations involving Australian citizens, such as in Ukraine following the MH17 incident. As negotiations continue, the Australian government remains committed to uncovering the truth behind this tragic event. We'll keep you updated on any developments in this ongoing story. A young woman's shocking decision to quit her job within minutes of starting has taken the internet by storm. Stay tuned for the details. Jasmine. In an unexpected turn of events, 32-year-old Sophie Ward from the UK has made headlines after quitting her job trial in Australia just 10 minutes after starting. The reason? A room full of screaming babies. Sophie, who has been documenting her travels in Australia, shared her experience online, amassing over 100,000 views. She revealed that she left because she had never worked with children before and found herself overwhelmed in a room with 10 crying infants. The young traveller has been facing challenges in finding suitable employment in Australia, despite having extensive customer service experience. She's applied for hundreds of jobs, both online and in person, and even reached out through social media. Surprisingly, she was rejected from a major grocery chain and has experienced being ghosted after multiple interview rounds. In her quest for work, Sophie decided to give childcare a try. However, the experience proved too intense, leading to her hasty exit. In her rush to leave, she even abandoned her Tupperware container filled with spaghetti bolognese, a decision she admitted left her fuming. This incident highlights the challenges faced by job seekers, particularly in unfamiliar industries. It also serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding one's own limits and capabilities when exploring new career paths. Seven West Media reports a significant profit slump, and SGH sees growth in its half-yearly results. Let's dive into our main story. Seven West Media, a major Australian media company, has announced a 40% decrease in half-yearly profit. CEO Jeff Howard attributes this to a soft TV advertising market and one-off sporting events. Despite the challenges, Seven West Media is making progress under a new operating structure. The company saw an increase in total TV revenue share to 41.5% and implemented cost-saving measures. Popular shows like My Kitchen Rules and Home and Away continue to attract strong audiences. Seven West Media's statutory net profit after tax fell by 67% to $18 million, while underlying after-tax profit dropped 40.2% to $37.4 million. Revenue also decreased by 6% compared to the same period last year. Looking ahead, the company expects growth in its digital platform, 7plus, and anticipates new opportunities with AFL-related programs. They're also optimistic about the potential impact of the upcoming federal election. In related news, SHG, formerly Seven Group Holdings, reported positive half-yearly results. The company saw an 8% increase in overall earnings, driven by strong performances from Westrac, Coates and Boral. SHG's statutory net profit more than doubled to $518 million, while underlying net profit grew by 7% to $508 million. We'll explore the potential impact of a recent by-election on Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's future. Labor's performance in the Werribee by-election has raised concerns about the party's standing. A significant swing against Labor could spell trouble for the Prime Minister in the upcoming federal election. The Victorian Labor Party experienced a 17% primary vote swing against it in the Werribee by-election, with a two-party preferred swing of negative 10%. This result has put several federal Labor seats at risk, including McEwen, Chisholm, Aston, Bruce, Dunkley, Corangamite, and Hawke. Victorian Deputy Premier Ben Carroll called the result unacceptable, while pollster Kos Samaras warned that Labor's red wall had collapsed. However, it's important to note that these results may not directly translate to a national election. Recent nationwide polls show the coalition leading Labor by 51.5% to 48.5% on a two-party preferred basis. Labor's primary vote in outer suburbs has reportedly dropped to 27%, indicating a growing divide between different voter demographics. Victorian Premier Jacinta Allan acknowledged that voters were sending a message and emphasised the need to support working people and their families during challenging times. While the federal election date hasn't been announced, it must be held before May 17th. The outcome of this election could potentially see Prime Minister Albanese removed from power if the Werribee by-election results are mirrored nationwide.